Today we're going to talk about an album that I personally feel was very revolutionary in hip-hop. It was an album that broke a lot of barriers. It was an album that broke a lot of color lines. I'm talking about BANGlN on Wax.
They are members of two of LA's most notorious gangs. Red is the color identified with the Bloods. The Crips wear blue. 16 gang members have put aside their weapons and their differences and united as rappers.
Take yourself back to 1993 when this album came out. The streets were on fire. It was a war zone out there. Los Angeles at that time had upwards of 2,500 homicides a year. Yes, you heard that right. 2,500 homicides a year. And someone had the bright idea, a few people had the bright idea, RIP to Red Rum, shout out to Sin Loke, shout out to Tweety Bird Loke, shout out to Ronnie. Few people had an idea to get a bunch of Crips and a bunch of Bloods together to record an album. How the heck did they make this happen back in 1993? That was the question everybody was asking.
We had done the Tweety Bird Loke album. The record really never came out. You can't find it nowhere. And we never received no paperwork or nothing on it. Long story short, we were like, damn, man, we got to come up with something. We need something that's going to make it hit. I was at the house. Probably had my son at the time, take care of my son. Wife was probably at work. My cousin Blue Rag came home. He said, D, we got a dope ass project. I'm like, what? He's like, man, they came up with some shit. I'm like, what? He's like, Bloods and Crips banging on wax. I'm like, oh shit, that's gonna be dope. Now how I came up about it, they was in there bored, working on some music and trying to figure out something, a new something we can come up that's gonna make some noise. Red Rum, I heard Red Rum was a part of that conversation when it first came out. He was responsible for bringing in the Bloods, bringing in more Bloods.
So my brother, like I said, him and Tweety Bird was managed by this guy, Robert Lewis. His name was Robert Lewis. He was the guitar player for Luther Vandross. So he was trying to start his label. But at that time, for some reason, he couldn't do it, or he was under some kind of contract where he couldn't start the label. So he knew Ronnie Phillips. Ronnie Phillips wanted to sign. He had just did this group and they did a song called Batman or something. I don't even really wasn't too familiar with that. But we knew he had put records out. We knew he had put Tweety Bird Loke out. So my brother he wanted to sign my brother and Tweety. Well, actually, let me go back. They presented a Bloods and Crips album to the guy Robert Lewis. Robert Lewis thought it was a good idea. And he said, well, I can't do it. And he presented it to Ronnie because he said Ronnie was in the industry and could make things happen, you know what I'm saying? So that's how it got to Ronnie. So then my brother and Tweety Bird sat down with Ronnie, told them how they wanted to do it. And he just was like, well, where y'all gonna get the members from? So they was like, that ain't nothing. Just, once they pushed forward with the project, then that's when my brother came and got me and Nene, which is Bloody Mary.
Before we talk about the album BANGlN on Wax, which spawned songs like Pyru Love and Steady Dippin', let's go back to before what was going on in Los Angeles, in the country at that time. So just before 1993, we had just experienced the LA riots.
Now that the sun has come up, we can see the extent of the damage and the destruction wrought by last night's fires and rioting. There are firefighters at work, but obviously there's nothing they can do to stop the looting. And, these are businesses where the glass has already been broken out and people are just freely walking in and out, brazenly taking whatever they want.
And I remember it like it was yesterday. I was about 13 years old, 12, 13 years old. And I just remember seeing the news stories, the In Living Color parodies. That was one of my favorites, still is to this day. Right around this time, what came of that is something phenomenal in itself. There was a peace treaty on the streets between Crips and the Bloods.
After the riots, it was brothers like, what are we doing? And I remember distinctly going out to different events. We would do, me and my partner, co-organized with some other people, some big, huge gatherings at Udema Village in the park, Magic Johnson Park, man. It was 6,000 cats out there, man. And guys who would never be seen in the same park were out there, you know, giving dap, hugging, crying. I mean, it was really an emotional thing, man. You could tell brothers was tired of looking over their shoulder. You could tell it. You could see, man. It was like it was a relief. Like, man, we ain't got to do this no more, you know?
There were big meetings all over Los Angeles. There was unity. It was short-lived, but there was unity on the streets. And I was too young to even understand this, but I talked to people who were there 20 years older than me, 15 years, even 10 years older than me, and they remember it as a great time and something that unfortunately a lot of them say will never happen again.
Rising above the ashes from the riots of 1992 is a covenant that could forever change the face of Los Angeles. The devastation and death toll have apparently convinced the city's two notorious gangs they should stop killing each other.
People done lost brothers, mothers, sisters, daughters, sons, everything over this, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's time for our people to come together. I'm a blood, and I love my blood, and I love my homies. You know what I'm saying? These is Crips, they black. You know what I'm saying? It's time to come as one.
And unfortunately, the truth of the matter is the police officers didn't want it to happen in the first place.
But you had other parties who was like waiting to throw a beehive in that shit or throw, you know, keep it going, man, because, you know, that gang situation represents a lot of money to a lot of people, dude. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of money to a lot of people. In fact, I think I may have told you this before. A dude I know that owns a funeral home in Linwood, him and my dad was partners, and he came out the pad, man, talking shit. Man, these niggas ain't kill each other. Business is bad as hell. These niggas got to start shooting again. I'm like, huh? And this is kind of how some people actually think, man. You know, ain't no overtime, ain't no bodies. You know, ain't no funerals, ain't no bodies. The flower shops stop making money. The police stop making money. The DA's caseload goes down. You know, every time somebody gets sentenced to life in prison, dude, that's job security for 25 to life for somebody. Black, brown, or white don't make no difference. You know, that's job security.